This is the story of Napoleon Bonaparte, but not the story you expect. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a cold wind touching your face. You're standing on a quiet island called Corsica. There is no army here, no crown, no glory, only a small boy. He does not look powerful. He is not the strongest. Other children don't notice him. But inside him, something is burning, a silent fire, a question. What if I become more than this? That boy was Napoleon. He grew up in a simple home with no luxury, no special advantages, only discipline, struggle, and a mother who taught him that life gives nothing, you must take it. At the age of 9, everything changed. He left his home alone and was sent to France, a place where he didn't belong. He spoke differently, looked different, felt different. The other boys laughed at him and called him an outsider. In that moment, he had two choices: break or become. Napoleon chose to become. While others laughed, he studied. While others played, he learned. While others slept, he dreamed. Dangerous dreams. Years passed, and the world around him exploded into chaos. The French Revolution. Kings were falling. Streets were filled with anger. Most people were afraid, but Napoleon saw opportunity. He stepped forward. Battle after battle, he proved something shocking. This quiet boy could command armies. At just 24 years old, he became a general. The same boy who was mocked, now giving orders to thousands. But he wasn't done. In 1799, he took control of France, and in a moment that stunned the world, he stood in a grand cathedral, picked up a crown, and placed it on his own head. Not a king by birth, but a king by will. Now he was emperor. Europe trembled. His armies moved like storms, and country after country fell under his power. People feared him, people admired him, but deep inside, that same fire whispered, "More." So he chased it all the way to Russia, a land too vast, too cold, too unforgiving. At first, it seemed like another victory, but then came silence. Empty cities, burned food, no enemies to fight. And then winter came, not just cold, but deadly. Soldiers froze, hunger spread, hope disappeared, and the great army began to die, not in battle, but in silence. Napoleon stood there, watching his empire crack for the first time. He had reached the top of the world, and now he was falling. His enemies closed in, he lost power, and he was sent away to a small island called Elba. For most men, that would be the end, but not Napoleon. He escaped, he returned, and for a brief moment, it felt like the story wasn't over. But fate was waiting. At Waterloo, everything ended. One final battle, one final defeat. This time, there was no return. He was sent to a lonely island called St. Helena, far from armies, far from power, far from everything, just a man and his thoughts. 6 years later, in 1821, Napoleon Bonaparte died. No crown, no empire, just a story. A story of a boy who was ignored, a man who rose higher than anyone imagined, and a legend who proved that sometimes the most powerful force in the world is not strength, but belief.